y'all, what's up? Chad Wright coming to you here once again on the channel Team Righteous, and today we have a 2008 Suzuki Hayabusa Gen 2 Hayabusa we got here on the dyno. So what's so special about this Hayabusa? Well, so it's a Gen 2 Hayabusa. It's the first year of the second gen Hayabusa whenever they come out. It has a stock header on it and has these slip-on tips that are on it. So you see a lot of guys will run these right here, and it does still have baffles in it, so it's not going to be extremely loud or anything. But anyway, so he's just wanting to get his bike dyno tuned. But not only that, we also got another thing going on here. So we got to do the dyno tune. We've also got to put a 240 kit on here. So this customer reached out to us. He has a Thompson 240 kit that we're going to install on it. So we will have to change the swing arm. We'll have to change the wheel and tire, obviously, change sprockets. All that stuff up there will have to be changed on this bike right here to get it set up. So we're going to do that with there. But before we do that with there, we're going to do the dyno tune with the stock wheel and chain and sprockets and everything that's on there, and the stretch arm that's on it. So anyways, we're going to take how it's set up right now. We're going to see what kind of power it makes. We're going to make adjustments like we always do and everything else, go through the normal stuff, and then we'll take it off the dyno once we're done tuning it, and we're going to do the 240 kit and put it on there. So that'll be part of the video as well. Not installing the 240 kit, but just once it's done. We really don't have a lot of time this week to go through a series video like that with there. But we'll be able to show you the end results once we get done with it. And I'm going to put it back on the dyno and see just how much power do you lose from this really heavy tire. So a lot of these guys right here, though, they're not really worried about, you know, trying to race. They're not out there with us on the drag strip or anything like that right there. But it's always just been a concern of ours. You know, everybody always says that the rotating mass of the wheel makes a difference, you know, in horsepower and how much it affects everything. So we're going to put it here on the dyno and see just what difference does it make just on the dyno. Probably won't see those differences on the track because, like I said, these guys right here is generally not going to come to the track with the bike anyways. But anyways, we're going to get on the dyno, see what kind of power we can make with this thing right here in stock form. Y'all, so we are back. We've got the 240 kit installed on the Hayabusa. So I was telling you before that he was going with the 240 kit. We've got it on here, got it up on the dyno, make sure it's driving good and everything. But we want to see how does it do once we've done the dyno tune. What does it show on the dyno? Is it going to show that it's going to make more power? Or is it going to show that it's going to make less power? I'm not sure. You know, my thoughts are the wheel is heavier than the stock wheel that was on there. So my thoughts are that it's going to make less horsepower. I did weigh the both wheels, and the 240 wheel is 16 pounds heavier than the stock wheel. So he has got, just like it's sitting right now, it has got 16 more pounds on it than what it did before. As far as the chain goes, I don't know. They were both roughly the same length. So we're kind of in the same spot as we were before. But so I don't think there's going to be any more weight on the chain. Maybe a little less actually, because of the kind of chain that it is. I'm not sure. But that's, I don't think it's going to change it any. Gear ratio. So still got the same stock front gear ratio. The rear, we went up 2 teeth, so the stock is 43, went up to a 45, but it's a taller tire, so that's kind of going to negate itself some. But I think that, like I said, I think it's going to lose a little bit of power. So y'all drop down in the comments below. What do y'all think it's going to do? I think it's going to lose power because it's a heavier wheel, or is it going to gain power? We'll see what it does here in just a minute, and then I'll overlay the graphs and show you exactly what it did from where we had it tuned before to where we got it at now. So we'll be back at y'all in just 1 second. All right, y'all, so here we go. Time for the moment of truth. Is it going to make more power or going to make less power? So we already got the bike warmed up. We're ready to go. Let's see what this thing can do. All right, y'all, so here we go. Moment of the truth. What do y'all think? Y'all think it made more? Did it make less? What do y'all think it did? Like I said, this thing right here, 16 pounds heavier. So let's just see what the results are. All right, here y'all go. So here are our results. So the bold line here, that is the bold line here, that is our first run. So this right here was with the stock wheel on it. That's where it made the power at. So the bold line is with the stock wheel on it, and the thin line right here, that is with the 240 on it. So we are down about 2.5 foot-pounds of torque. And then as we go through here, you're going to see they get a little bit closer right through here, but they still stay that the stock wheel setup is just making more. And as it goes through here, it gets a little bit further away. It starts to spread out. So we're seeing right here now, we're at about 3 horsepower difference now coming through here. And then we're going up here to peak torque. So right around peak torque, we lost a little bit of peak torque. But that is actually where the transition happens. So right there, around peak torque, they kind of marry each other for a little ways. And then up top, the big 240 starts to pull away horsepower-wise. We actually made 5.5 more horsepower. So, what does that say? So here's what everybody always misconstrues about a dyno. So we know in all reality, if you take this bike just like it was set up before and went to the track with it and ran its best time, and then you put this wheel on here that's 16 pounds heavier, put it on there, made a pass with the exact same setup, that you're going to lose ET. There's just no way around it. So why did it make more horsepower on the dyno? Well, this right here is how a dyno works. I'm gonna flip it around here and talk to y'all a little bit about this. Okay, so here's your motorcycle here and everything, engine, chain, all the simple stuff. Chain drives off of the transmission, pulls against this sprocket back here, makes the wheel spin. Everybody knows all that right there. So what it does here is it puts down power to this drum. This drum weighs a certain amount. This drum knows that if you can spin this drum a certain speed in a certain amount of time, that it makes how much horsepower it makes. Well, here's what's going on here in this situation though, because we changed something that's not normal. So we didn't just change the tune, because we didn't change the tune. What we changed was we changed the weight. And this is the reason why it looks like it does on the graph. So the engine has more weight to pull now. So it's got to pull an extra 16 pounds. So that's the reason why it's down on power everywhere below peak torque. And then once you get the peak torque, and then this right is making a pull in 5th gear as well. So once you get above peak torque, that's the reason why it starts to marry together, and then the horsepower starts to run away the other way, because this wheel here weighs so much, now it's got a lot of momentum. So once the momentum is going, it's actually making it easier for the bike to keep, you know, putting down more horsepower, as you would say. So, did it make more horsepower? Did it make less? Well, in all reality, the engine didn't make anything any different. The engine still makes the same horsepower as it made the other day when we dynoed it, so we didn't change anything there. The only difference is once you get this big heavy wheel going, that's what you see the difference in the dyno. And that's the reason why when we try to tell you, you know, what you make on this dyno isn't going to be the same as what you make on somebody else's dyno down the road, somebody else's dyno, you know, 10 states away. They're all different. All it is a tool for us to be able to tune a motorcycle to the best of our ability to get the most power out of it the way it's set up at its current, you know, setup. So if you have a heavier wheel on your bike, it's going to theoretically now show that it makes more horsepower than what it, you know, did before. But does it really? Well, like I said, the engine's still making the same power as it did before anyway, so nothing there changed. So it just appears on here that it's making more power. Now going on the highway, that means whenever you pull the clutch in and start coasting, it's probably going to coast for a whole lot further or whatever, because it's got more weight to keep the wheel spinning when you're going on the highway. It also means it's going to be harder to stop. So as you've seen from the torque and from the down low area, that would be like if you was in a drag race, your acceleration is going to be really, really slow. But once you get this big old wheel going, it's going to start moving pretty good. So once you're going on the highway, it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be good. He's probably not going to notice too much difference in it, other than it's going to make more power and feel better than what it did before since we tuned it. But it's not going to really affect the bike, I don't think, to the way that a lot of people would think that it would. Because once you get that big wheel going, it's going to keep motivating. So anyways, there's some information about that right there. We can do 240 kits on bikes like this right here. Not very cheap. It's a very, very long process. A lot of work into it. Big thanks to Avery over at A&A Fabrication. He come through and helped us with the modifying of the frame to fit the chain for the 240 kit. And we got it taken care of as well. So anyways, we're going to get off here, try to get to the house. We got to tune a Gen 3 Busa tomorrow. So we appreciate all of y'all. Have a good one.